A signal flared through the darkness of deep space, desperate, fragmented, and unintended, a plea for help that carried farther than anyone had imagined. Alien fleets paused, sensors straining, algorithms attempting to trace its origin, unaware that the message had reached a species they had long dismissed. Humanity. For centuries, humans had been catalogued as fragile, inconsequential, a species surviving against impossible odds on a planet the galaxy deemed unworthy. Yet hidden within every struggle, every catastrophe, every narrow escape lay a truth the cosmos had ignored. Humans endured, adapted, and overcame. Survival was instinct. Ingenuity was instinctive. Defiance was innate. In orbital docks and secret dry docks, massive engines roared to life, glowing a pale, deliberate blue. Warships long dormant stirred, hulls polished, systems calibrated, weapons tested and refined. The Deadworlders did not rush. They did not announce themselves. They prepared, and in preparation, they made a statement. The first ship slipped into the void, moving with silent precision, threading the darkness like predators awakening. Alien patrols detected them, sensors flaring, communications buzzing, calculations failing. These were not scouts. These were hunters. Fighter wings arced in synchronized patterns, carriers maintained perfect protective spirals, and capital ships shifted with calculated grace. The galaxy had misjudged humanity, and the consequences of that misjudgment were about to unfold. Every admiral, every strategist, every automated system felt it. The Deadworlders had answered a call not meant for them. Humanity had arrived. They were more than survivors. They were predators. And the universe would soon learn the full measure of their reach. The Deadworlder fleet surged forward, threading through the void with calculated inevitability. Engines glowed a cold, steady blue, casting faint light over distant asteroids and drifting debris. Every ship moved in flawless coordination, as if the fleet itself breathed with a single consciousness. Alien fleets scrambled, launching patrols and drones, activating shields and countermeasures, but every attempt was anticipated, every calculation undone. Humans did not need to fire a weapon. Their presence alone was a force that twisted sensors, warped targeting arrays, and fractured automated logic. The lead human warship, massive and angular, advanced at the center of the formation, its hull reflecting nebulae and distant stars in fractured patterns. Shields bent light into intricate fractals, engines pulsed with the slow rhythm of predators that knew patience. Observers realized that this was no ordinary ship. It was a statement, a declaration that humanity had arrived not to plead or parley, but to assert command through discipline. Intellect and restraint. Fighter wings wove arcs around frigates, carriers held protective spirals, and every movement was a lesson in strategy and precision. Drones sent forward in desperation vanished into warped subspace, sensor readings fractured, and targeting arrays jammed under the invisible weight of human anticipation. The Deadworlders moved as one, threading the gaps in alien formations, leaving entire fleets paralyzed by the realization that numerical superiority meant nothing against a species that had mastered foresight, adaptability, and ruthless calculation. Through subspace channels, the human voice resonated, calm yet absolute. You have measured us. You have calculated. And yet, you hesitate. Humanity does not act recklessly. Stand down, or witness the consequences of underestimating a species that refuses to yield. Pride clashed with instinct, confidence faltered, and for the first time, alien fleets understood the truth. They were facing predators, not mere competitors. The Deadworlders advanced, patient, deliberate, unstoppable, and the galaxy began to comprehend that humans were more than survivors. They were predators, masters of the void, and their reckoning had only just begun. The predator fleet moved like a living organism, each vessel anticipating the currents of the void and the subtle shifts of alien formations. Engines glowed softly. Shields bending light into intricate patterns, fighters weaving arcs with lethal grace. Every maneuver was precise, every motion deliberate, as though the humans were conducting a silent symphony of dominance. Alien fleets tried to respond, launching drones and patrols, attempting to flank, to encircle, to calculate a weakness. But every move failed. Drones disappeared into ripples of warped subspace, sensors returned fractured readings, and targeting systems spun uselessly. The lead human warship, immense and battle-scarred, glided through the sector like a predator among prey, its hull reflecting distant stars and swirling nebulae. No weapons fired, yet its presence radiated authority. Intelligence, an absolute command, a soft pulse of energy radiated from the lead ship, subtle but undeniable. The human voice echoed across subspace and communication channels alike, calm, unyielding, and resolute. You have observed. You have calculated. And yet, you hesitate. Humanity does not yield. Step back, or witness the consequences of underestimating the Deadworlders. Alien commanders froze, pride and logic colliding in hesitation. Every attempt at aggression or strategy faltered under the weight of human anticipation. The Deadworlders did not need to strike to assert dominance. Every ship, every formation, every calculated movement displayed mastery, patience, and the silent authority of a species forged in adversity. The galaxy, long complacent in its assumptions, now understood. Humans were hunters, predators of space, and the void had never seen anything like them. The Deadworlder fleet pressed further into alien territory, weaving through patrols and orbital defenses with a precision that seemed almost preternatural. Each vessel moved in perfect synchrony, as if the fleet itself was a single conscious entity, aware of every calculation, hesitation, and potential threat across the alien armada. Engines glowed a pale, steady blue, casting ethereal light across drifting debris, asteroid fields, and distant nebulae. Fighter wings carved graceful arcs, carriers maintained protective spirals, and frigates flanked with meticulous accuracy. Every movement conveyed discipline, foresight, and the quiet lethality of a species that had survived every conceivable trial. Alien admirals scrambled to coordinate defenses. Patrols surged forward, drones were launched, weapons primed, but every action faltered under invisible human anticipation. Drones twisted in warped space, sensor readings fragmented, and targeting arrays jammed without explanation. The Deadworlders did not fire, did not rush, did not threaten outright, yet every observer understood the message. Humanity commanded the battlefield not by force, but by intellect and absolute control. The lead warship, massive and angular, glided through the void like a predator surveying its domain. Its hull reflected distant stars and nebulae, shields bending light into impossible fractal patterns. Engines pulsed steadily, as if breathing with the rhythm of a predator confident in its mastery. Observers realized that this vessel was more than a warship, it was a declaration. Humanity had arrived not to negotiate or conquer, but to demonstrate that strategic brilliance, disciplined coordination, and unwavering resolve could dominate entire fleets without a single shot being fired. Fighter wings weaved in precise arcs, carriers held protective spirals, frigates adjusted positions with surgical exactness. Every alien fleet that attempted to maneuver found themselves blocked, restrained by human calculation and foresight. Each pause, each subtle shift, displayed an understanding of space, movement, and strategy that no alien system could match. Humanity moved like water through every gap, threading through the void with elegance, patience, and inevitable authority. Then, through subspace channels, the human voice resonated, calm, measured, unyielding. You have seen our fleet. You have measured our presence. And yet, you hesitate. Humanity does not act recklessly. Step back, respect survival, or learn the cost of underestimating the Deadworlders. The words carried centuries of survival, of famine endured, wars fought, extinction narrowly avoided. Alien officers understood instinctively that this was not a threat, it was a reckoning. Pride faltered. Calculations failed. Confidence shattered. Humanity had proven that intellect and discipline could command the void more effectively than weapons or numbers. The Deadworlders moved forward, deliberate and absolute, threading alien formations, rewriting assumptions, and leaving the galaxy to reckon with a species it had long underestimated. Humanity was no longer merely resilient. Humanity was inevitable. Humanity was predator. And the universe would never ignore them again. the Deadworlder fleet advanced further into the alien coalition's heart, a silent tide of steel and energy cutting through the void. Engines glowed with pale, deliberate blue, casting spectral light across distant nebulae, asteroid fields, and scattered debris. Every vessel moved in flawless unison, an organism of calculated precision and lethal elegance. Fighters arced with surgical grace, carriers maintained protective spirals, and frigates flanked in perfect synchronization. Every motion was deliberate, every calculation exact, each ship a testament to human discipline and the ruthless efficiency of a species honed by adversity. Alien fleets scrambled, desperately launching patrols and drones, activating shields and countermeasures. Yet every attempt was anticipated, nullified, and rendered irrelevant. Drones vanished into warped subspace currents. Targeting arrays returned fractured data. Calculations that once determined victory crumbled before the quiet, patient authority of the Deadworlders. Humans did not strike hastily, they did not boast or threaten. They simply moved, and the void itself seemed to bend to their understanding. The lead warship loomed at the center, immense and angular, its hull scarred but gleaming, reflecting distant stars and swirling nebulae in fractured, shimmering patterns. Its shields bent light into complex fractals, engines pulsed with the steady heartbeat of a predator fully aware of its prey. Every observer, every officer, every automated system across the alien fleets felt a growing unease, a recognition that they faced a species that could anticipate, adapt, and dominate with unerring precision. Fighter wings swept in intricate spirals around carriers, frigates adjusted positions with silent calculation, and every human ship moved as if connected by thought, each aware of every potential threat and opportunity. The Deadworlders demonstrated that command was not about weapons, but foresight, not about numbers, but coordination, not about aggression, but patience. Every alien maneuver faltered, every strategy failed, and every fleet realized that superiority in size or firepower meant nothing against a species that had mastered survival, intelligence, and absolute resolve. Through subspace channels, the human voice carried, calm, deliberate, and resonant, "You have measured us. You have calculated. And yet, you hesitate. Humanity does not yield. Respect survival, or witness the consequences of underestimating the Deadworlders." The words reverberated across fleets, carrying centuries of survival, defiance, and unbroken will. Alien commanders faltered, pride and logic colliding in hesitation. Confidence crumbled. Calculations failed. Humanity had displayed restraint, strategy, and mastery without firing a single shot, proving that intellect and unyielding resolve could command more power than fleets of weapons. The Deadworlder fleet continued its slow, deliberate advance, threading through alien formations with quiet inevitability. Observers realized that this was not a battle. It was a demonstration. Humanity had arrived to answer a call not meant for them, and in doing so, they had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of what it meant to survive, dominate, and command. Every system, every observer, every officer felt the truth settle like a shadow across their hearts. Humans were hunters, the void was their domain, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The lead ship lingered for a moment longer, engines pulsing steadily, reflecting nebula clouds and distant stars across its armored hull. Then, without haste, the fleet began its withdrawal, moving with deliberate order, leaving alien fleets to ponder the scale of what they had witnessed. Humanity had not conquered. Humanity had not destroyed. Yet they had commanded, and the lesson would echo across every system for generations to come. The Deadworlder fleet glided deeper into the void, engines glowing a soft, steady blue that cut through the blackness like a knife through silk. Every vessel moved with deliberate grace, a symphony of steel and light, as if the fleet itself were alive, aware of every calculation, hesitation, and potential threat across the alien armada. Fighter wings arced in perfect patterns, carriers maintained intricate protective spirals, and frigates adjusted with surgical precision. Every motion was a demonstration of discipline, foresight, and the quiet lethality of a species forged in adversity. Alien fleets struggled to coordinate, but their efforts were futile. Patrols and drones vanished into distortions of warped subspace, targeting arrays spun helplessly, and calculations that once determined victory crumbled under the weight of human anticipation. The Deadworlders did not strike hastily, they did not boast or issue threats. They moved with inevitability, patience, and the authority of a species that had survived every conceivable trial. Every alien commander, officer, and system felt the weight of that presence, a force more formidable than weapons, more absolute than fleets. The lead warship, massive and angular, glided at the center of the formation, its hull reflecting distant stars. Swirling nebulae, and trembling alien vessels. Shields bent light into fractal patterns, engines pulsed like the heartbeat of a predator fully aware of its domain. Every observer understood instinctively, this was no ordinary fleet, no mere deterrent. Humanity had arrived to answer a call not meant for them, and the display was a testament to intellect, strategy, and unwavering resolve. Fighter wings wove intricate spirals, frigates flanked in perfect symmetry, and carriers maintained protective arcs that conveyed both restraint and absolute control. The Deadworlders advanced through alien formations as if the void itself had been mapped within their minds. Every alien maneuver faltered. Every feint collapsed, and every fleet realized the chilling truth. Superiority in numbers or firepower was meaningless against a species that had mastered survival, calculation, and unyielding determination. Then, across subspace channels and communication arrays alike, the human voice resonated, calm, precise, unshakable. You have measured us. You have calculated. And yet, you hesitate. Humanity does not act recklessly. We do not yield. Respect survival, or learn the consequences of underestimating the Deadworlders. The words carried the weight of centuries. Famine endured, wars fought, extinction narrowly avoided, crises overcome. Alien commanders felt instinctively that this was not a threat, but a judgment, a reckoning of a species that required neither fire nor aggression to assert its dominance. Pride faltered, confidence shattered, and hesitation spread like wildfire through the fleets. Humanity had demonstrated mastery, restraint, and authority that could not be measured by conventional means. The Deadworlder fleet began its slow, deliberate withdrawal, every ship moving with precision, engines pulsing steadily, leaving alien fleets frozen in awe. Fighter wings arced in perfect formations, frigates flanked with surgical coordination, and carriers maintained protective spirals until the last vessel slipped into the darkness. Humanity had not conquered. Humanity had not destroyed. Yet they had commanded, taught a lesson, and reshaped the galaxy's understanding of survival, strategy, and power. Every system, every observation post, every alien officer carried the same realization. Humans were hunters, the void belonged to no one, and the Deadworlders' presence was a force that would be remembered for generations.